Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. The Israelites have been scattered across the four corners of the earth, as prophesied in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. Here in Israel, united in Christ, we need your help to recover the remnant of our people, teach them the gospel. Please help us, support us, and join or donate to the Booster Club today. Shalom.
Shalom Israel, Captain OC.
Officer Baruch.
Alright, today we are going 15 minutes with the captains. Today we're going to deal with Christ. We're going to deal with a doctrine that's very, very prominent when you talk about Jesus Christ. There is a misconception that Jesus Christ did away with the law. But we're going to read today and we're going to show you how he actually magnified the laws of God. So let's start at Matthew chapter 5 and verse 17.
The book of Matthew, chapter 5 and verse 17. Think not that I am come to destroy the law.
So, the notion that he came to destroy the commandments, so you no longer have to keep the commandments, that should be out of your head first and foremost. This is the book of Matthew, right?
Yes, sir.
Read that again.
Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy,
Read.
but to fulfill. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law.
So we understand nothing has passed from the law till what?
Till all be fulfilled.
So we read that. We should have a basic general understanding that the laws of God are still in effect. But yet we still have this notion that the laws are done away with.
Right.
Because when they read the letters of Paul, so on and so forth, they get misunderstood. What did Christ change? Let's go to the book of Acts chapter 13 and verse 38. Because don't get me wrong, he did change different aspects of the law. But the law in a whole was not done away with. Read that again.
The book of Acts chapter 13 and verse 38. Be it known unto you, therefore, men and brethren, that through this man,
Jesus Christ,
is preached unto you the forgiveness of sins.
the forgiveness of sins,
And by him all that believe are justified from all things, from which ye could not be justified by the law of Moses.
You see that underneath Christ, we are now able to be justified of things that we weren't able to be justified under the law of Moses. That is what he changed. But the things that are written of him, the actual commandments, they still stand. And he actually expounded upon those things. Let's go to the book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 13. Let's get into this. We're going to show you how Christ magnified the laws of God. He actually made the laws more stringent than the laws of Moses. Because people like to say you had to do this, you had to do that under the law of Moses. Okay, you did. But when you read about Christ, he actually made it harder for us. Because now, not only are you judged on your actions, now you're judged on your thoughts. You're judged on the intents, so on and so forth. But that's for another class. Read that.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 13. Thou shalt not kill.
Thou shalt what?
Not kill.
Is that it on that, right?
Yes, sir.
Thou shalt not kill. How did Jesus Christ expound upon thou shalt not kill? Let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 5 and verse 21. And this is why I said Jesus Christ magnified the laws. Alright? He magnified the laws of God. Read that.
The book of Matthew, chapter 5 and verse 31. 21. Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, Thou shalt not kill, and whosoever shall kill shall be in danger of the judgment.
Right. So you heard that under Moses' law. He said, Thou shalt not kill. Read.
Verse 22. But I say unto you, that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause.
So if you're angry now with your brother, you didn't put the hand to him, you didn't choke him, you didn't take his eye out, you didn't do nothing. You're angry. You in your emotions. Read.
Without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment.
So now if you just get angry with your brother without a cause, you're in danger of the judgment. The judgment of what? Thou shalt not kill. Keep reading.
And whosoever shall say to his brother, Rakah, shall be in danger of the council.
Read.
But whosoever shall say, thou fool, shall be in danger of hell fire.
So now we see if you're angry with your brother, he's lining up along the same lines of murder. Let's get that. 1 John chapter 3 and verse 15. Because the law says, thou shalt not kill. Christ said, because he is greater than the law of Moses, he said, if you're angry with your brother without a cause, you're in danger of the judgment.
Right.
Read that.
The book of 1 John chapter 3 and verse 15. Whosoever hateth his brother is a murderer.
Whoa, read that again.
Whosoever hateth his brother is a murderer.
Now, the spirit of hatred, now Christ, after Christ has come on the scene, he says, no longer do you have to physically kill a man to be worthy of the judgment. Now, if you have hatred toward that man, that's the same exact judgment. That's what you're worthy of. That's why I say underneath Christ, yeah, you got grace, but now you're going to be judged on a whole different level. That's why in Hebrews 10, right, he says it's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the Lord. Read that again.
1 John 3:15. Whosoever hateth his brother is a murderer.
Was that it on that?
And ye know that no murderer have eternal life abiding in him.
There you go. Now, from there, let's go to Exodus 20 and 14. So he expounded upon the law of thou shalt not kill. He showed us how that was bigger than just that actual commandment of thou shalt not kill. All right, read that.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 14. Thou shalt not commit adultery.
Thou what?
Thou shalt not commit adultery.
Thou shalt not commit adultery. What did Jesus Christ say about that? How did he expound upon the law of thou shalt not commit adultery? Let's go to the book of Matthew chapter 5 and verse 27.
The book of Matthew chapter 5 and verse 27. Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, thou shalt not commit adultery.
Read.
But I say unto you, that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her hath committed adultery with her already in his heart.
You see that? Now Jesus Christ, there you go again. He's a bad man. He said, I know what he said in the old time, but now I'm going to judge you on something completely different. If you look upon a maid, you already committed adultery already are. Why? Because you've already done it in your mind. Eventually, it's going to lead to that action. He's showing you that. From there, let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 11 and verse 1. Jesus Christ also expounded upon what love was. Because a lot of people think in the New Testament, that's the first time you see love. Love is all throughout the Old Testament. Read that. I'll show you what love is.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 11 and verse 1. Therefore, thou shalt love the Lord thy God, and keep his charge, and his statutes, and his judgments, and his commandments always.
So love in the Old Testament is the same thing as it was in the New Testament. How did Jesus Christ expound upon what love is? Because a lot of people say, I keep the commandments. It's like the rich man. The rich man says, I do this, I do that, I'm blameless. He says, sell everything you got.
Right.
Because he was showing them something. It's bigger than that. Go to John chapter 15 and verse 12. How did Jesus Christ expound upon what it means to love? What does it mean to love now after Christ has come on the scene? John 15 and verse 12.
The book of John chapter 15 and verse 12. This is my commandment, that ye love one another.
This is my commandment, that you love one another. We heard this already.
Right.
Read.
As I have loved you. Greater love have no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends.
So now he said, okay, I know keeping the commandments is of high esteem. But now you're going to take it to the next level. He said there's no greater love than laying your life down for your brother or your sister. How do we know that? Because that's ultimately what he did.
Right.
So that's the example that he set for us. That's how he magnified that law of what it truly means to love your brother and your sister. Let's go to the next one. Let's go to the book of Numbers chapter 30 and verse 1. Numbers chapter 30 and verse 1. So he expounded upon what love was. He expounded upon adultery. He expounded upon murder. Read that.
The book of Numbers, chapter 30 and verse 1. And Moses spake unto the heads of the tribes concerning the children of Israel, saying, This is the thing which the Lord hath commanded. If a man vow a vow unto the Lord, or swear an oath to bind his soul with a bond, he shall not break his word.
Read.
He shall do according to all that proceedeth out of his mouth.
So, in the Old Testament, under Moses, he said, hey, if you vow a vow unto the Lord, you must do it. So we made vows to the Lord at certain times. So it wasn't anything you said which was what you were supposed to do. It was only when you vowed it. Now when I was reading that, I was like, that don't even make sense. But that's how we had it set up. You had to make vows for certain things. Now, from there, go to Ecclesiastes chapter 5 and verse 4. And then we're going to get to what Christ said about that vowing. All right? Ecclesiastes chapter 5 and verse 4.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 5 and verse 4. When thou vowest a vow unto God,
Read.
defer not to pay it, for he have no pleasure in fools.
Read.
Pay that which thou hast vowed.
Pay that which thou hast vowed. Read.
Better is it that thou shouldest not vow, than that thou shouldest vow and not pay.
So even in the Old Testament, they had to understand, it's better for you not to vow than to make a vow to the Lord and not pay it. Read.
Suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin.
Right, because what was happening? We would make vows and we would not fess up or pay up to the Lord, causing us to sin. Read.
Neither say thou before the angel that it was an error. Wherefore should God be angry at thy voice and destroy the work of thine hands?
Matthew 5 and verse 33. Now let's see, what did Christ say about that thing? What did Christ say about the act of vowing? How did he magnify the law? Read that.
The book of Matthew chapter 5 and verse 33. Again, ye have heard that it hath been said by them of old time, thou shalt not forswear thyself, but shall perform unto the Lord thine oaths.
Read.
But I say unto you,
But Christ said unto you,
swear not at all, neither by heaven, for it is God's throne, nor by the earth, for it is his footstool, neither by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great king.
Read.
Neither shalt thou swear by thy head, because thou canst not make one hair white or black.
So we had the commandments on vows. Christ said, hey, listen, don't make no vows at all. Why? Read that.
37. But let your communication be yea, yea, nay, nay. For whatsoever is more than these cometh of evil.
You see that? Because he already understood. That's like when you're talking with a brother, he said, hey, to be honest, or to keep it real. What are you saying? Your yea is not yea, your nay. Because now you're telling me everything you said before that wasn't true. That's what we were doing with the Most High. I vow the Lord to do this. What do you mean? Let your yeas be yea and your nays nay. Matthew 12 and verse 36. Because, and there you go again. But that's also showing you how Christ magnified that thing. Before, he only held you accountable to those vows. Now everything come out of your mouth, you got to do it. Read that.
The book of Matthew chapter 12 and verse 36. But I say unto you, that every idle word that man shall speak, they shall give account therefore in the day of judgment.
You see that? Every word now. Not when you make a vow. Everything that comes out of your mouth, you're going to be held accountable. So for now, let's go to the book of Luke chapter 24 and verse 44. Luke chapter 24 and verse 44. So we just showed you a few elements of Christ and his doctrine and how he magnified the laws of God. Showing you once again, if you have any inclination that he did away with the laws of God, you are incorrect. You are wrong. That is not true. That is not what Christ came for. Read that.
The book of Luke chapter 24 and verse 44. And he said unto them, these are the words which I spake unto you.
Read.
While I was yet with you, that all things must be fulfilled.
That all things must be fulfilled. Read.
Which were written in the law of
Moses.
And in the prophets.
And in the what?
In the prophets.
Read.
And in the Psalms concerning me.
So we're going to read what was written of him in the prophets. Let's go to the book of Isaiah chapter 42 and verse 21. Because all the scriptures we just read you today showed you that he fulfilled what was written of him. And that he is contained in the Old Testament as well. Listen good.
The book of Isaiah chapter 42 and verse 21. The Lord is well pleased for his righteousness' sake. He will magnify the law.
He will what?
Magnify the law.
So Jesus Christ was doing nothing other than what he was prophesied to do. Showing you once again, when he came on the New Testament, in the New Testament, when he came on the scene, and the Pharisees and the scribes were upset They obviously were not reading the scriptures. Christ was doing nothing more than what he was prophesied to do, which was what?
Magnify the law and make it honorable.
And he was making that thing honorable. So I pray you understand the doctrine of Christ a little better with that. And with that, we say shalom.
Shalom, Israel.
We used to scream black power while Heron was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold. From Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.